from the castle gates to bedtime tales, laughs on the road and the monorail meet up on Main Street. Oh, Epcot to raise a glass and clink, telling old trip stories over one more drink. Diz Dad intro, here we go, talking parks, kids, all the magic we know. Diz Dad intro, hit play, let's start the show. Hey, Diz Dad intro.
All right. Welcome to Diz Dad Intros, the show where we get to know the voices, stories, and Disney passions behind the Diz Dad Club. I'm your host, Justin West, fellow dad, Disney fan, and proud member of this incredible community of fathers who love their families, and maybe just happen to love a good Dole Whip too. This is Diz Dad Intros. Let's meet today's guest, Shane Connors. How you doing today, Shane?
Hey, pretty good, Justin. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Happy to have you on here. Let the people of the guys of the Diz Dads Club get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
For sure. So, Shane, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us about where you're from and a little bit about your family.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Shane Connors. I was a military brat, so I was actually born in Honolulu, Hawaii, and then moved around while my dad was in the military, and then he wanted to go up to his hometown, which is upstate New York in Plattsburgh, New York. So at 5 years old, we moved there. And then my mom got homesick and we went back to Alabama. And so I call Alabama my home. That's where my formative years, I grew up there. And then I joined the military, joined the Army, and then I did 9 years and went all over the place. So, but now I live here in Orlando, Florida. So it's exciting. Kids love it also.
Awesome. So Shane, what do you do there for a living in Orlando?
I got a sweet job. So I work for Verizon Wireless and I get to cover the parks. So I make sure that all the cell phone service for Verizon is working through all 4 parks here and all the resorts. And then I also cover St. Cloud and Kissimmee, Florida also.
Cool. So then how did you stumble upon the Diz Dads and how long ago has it been that you joined the group?
Oh, wow. So Justin, when I first got here with Verizon, my wife and I talked about when we retire, we're going to work for Disney. Well, then my wife was looking at on the website. She's like, you know what? There's job openings. And, you don't do anything on weekends. I'm like, oh, really? She's like, hey, why don't you apply for this? So, I was working in the office at that time from 8 to 5. So I'm like, all right, I'll go. Went to the recruiter and it was for a parking lot job. And he's like, you don't want that. Let's get you in attractions. So I'm like, all right, I'll go do attractions. First attraction I went to was Pirates of the Caribbean and Magic Kingdom. And there I met John Peters. We were doing rope drop at the ad lib area. And he mentioned this crazy group called the Diz Dads. He's like, man, you love Disney. You're a dad. Why don't you join this group? So I joined it, and ever since, that's where I'm at. So, and it's awesome. It's an awesome group, though.
So John is who we have to blame for you.
Yeah, yes. So all the ones yes, blame John.
Awesome. So when did you? So how long ago was that?
So that was 7 years ago.
Okay.
Right before COVID. So we moved here in August, and I started with Disney in November, and then COVID hit, and then we went back after COVID in July.
Okay. So when did you first go to Disney?
Wow. So I did not go as a child. My wife, she loves Disney, always went to Disney. And I kind of badmouthed it, said, that's for kids. It's just another park and all. And but she convinced me to go after we got married. And so we went on the military passes. We didn't stay on property. We stayed right there off the West Gate. And I just fell in love with it. And ever since I was 20 years old, and ever since just been going all the time now. So it was really, really an eye opener that it wasn't just a park. By the way, Justin, I think in my intro, I'm married for 31 years. I got 4 kids. Okay, oldest daughter's 26, Caitlin, and then I got a 24-year-old Luke, and then another 21-year-old Brody, and then we have our 11. Well, she's now 12, just turned 12 this month, Charlie. So yeah, that's my family dynamics, also, Justin.
Okay, okay, great. Yeah, I got into the conversation there
Yeah.
and forgot to probe you for the answer. So good,
All right.
good for people to know. So you're local to Disney, and you worked there, and you've been there a lot. Obviously, your wife introduced you to the parks. Which one of the parks is your favorite, and why?
Oh, Epcot, no doubt. Love going there, with the different festivals that go on. And of course, as an adult, we like to partake in the food and beverages there too. So, Epcot's my favorite. Second place, Hollywood Studios. Being a local, people are not going to understand this, but as a local, Kingdom's probably on the bottom of my list. And it's because of access. It's hard for a local to get in and out easily at Magic Kingdom. So I try to avoid it at all costs, and it's just harder and harder to at night to get out of there. So, and of course, my daughter, she likes to close the night out there. And so you would like okay, is it going to be the riverboat or is it going to be the monorail? And it's a hassle. So, Epcot because of food and beverages, and then Hollywood Studios because I worked there. I did a transfer and got to do Galaxy's Edge, and I did those two main attractions there. And I've always loved Star Wars, so I would say Hollywood Studios second.
Good, good reasonings there. The Yeah, that a Magic Kingdom is it can be if you're leaving at the same time everybody else is, it can be a chore to get out of there for sure.
Oh yeah.
So do you have a favorite memory at Disney?
Oh yeah, definitely. Our favorite memory, my favorite memory is my daughter getting married there at the wedding pavilion. So it was an awesome day there with family and friends, and I got to officiate the wedding. So it was awesome. It's my favorite memory of Disney.
Sounds like a great experience. Do you have a favorite ride at this point?
Well, Carousel Progress, but now that it's going to go through a revamp, I'm kind of concerned about it. Carousels always just hit me in the gut. That was one of my favorite rides when I first went with my wife, and I've drugged the kids through there. They go there for the air condition to take a nap, but it's just always been my favorite ride and attraction there.
I'm a big fan of nostalgia, so that ride gets me too, and that tune will stick in your head for a while. So
Oh yeah.
so you love Epcot, and you mentioned the food and the beverages. Do you have a favorite drink, a favorite restaurant, a favorite food item? You could name one of each. You could, it doesn't have to be. I know it's hard to, as picking your favorites of those things could be like picking one of your favorite kids. So
Right. So my favorite is the bread service at Sanaa. I love to go to Sanaa for the food, and the bread service. You can't go wrong with it. So definitely Sanaa for the bread service. I don't have a favorite drink. I consume them all. Except Mexico. I don't like tequila. I'll drink wine. I'll drink beer. I'll drink bourbon. I'll drink anything except tequila. So I avoid Mexico. Everybody teases me because when I go into World Showcase, I go right. I don't go left.
oh man, well, I don't know. We may have to strong arm you down and into the Mexico Pavilion in January. But so outside of Disney, do you have any hobbies that you enjoy or have time for?
When I saw that question, I'm like, man, I really don't have any hobbies anymore per se. I used to play golf every weekend, but now that we moved to Florida, we literally go to Disney all the time. So I haven't even pulled the golf clubs out and since Colorado. It's been a long time. It's been 8 years since I pulled a golf club out. But so hobbies, I really don't have any right now. So
Disney's your hobby.
it is. It is.
There you go. There you go. If you could add one thing or bring one thing back to Disney World, what would that be?
The one thing I would like to change, maybe not bring back, but change is having to make a park reservation for annual pass holders. We spend a lot of money at Disney, not just with the pass, but also because we're there a lot. And for us to have to worry about park reservations, it's just frustrating. As a local, you go in there at the last minute to go into a park and it's marked off that you can't go. You got to go to another park and then park hop over. And with my wife's disability and having to do a scooter, and sometimes my mom going with us with a scooter, that's just a big pain in you know what. I would like for the park reservation to be gone for annual pass holders.
Yeah, that could it certainly added a wrinkle as somebody who travels, you know, and so my trips are limited. It's not something that I've really had to consider too much, but that's definitely a pain. So you're a local guy. Uh, you lived in Florida for several years now. What's the best time of year to visit?
I like the fall. Best time for me is the fall. You got Halloween coming up, and I do like Halloween Horror Nights also. We're on the Diz Dads, but we do go over there also. But the fall is the best time for us. We love to go to the parks during that time.
Some of my best, most vivid memories of family trips were for at the Halloween party, so I can appreciate that, and who doesn't love the food and wine festival also? So
Oh yeah, Food and Wine Festival for sure.
so Shane, you're I don't want to say you're new to the group, but some of the guys that I've interviewed so far have been part of the group for a long time. So you are I think you get razzed a little bit as one of the noobs, so to
Yeah.
speak, but you're local. How many times have you joined up at the DDCC then?
So I'm not OG. I got to make sure I say that for the guys that are OG. And it started at 9. Some of the guys came over while I was working Haunted Mansion and came to talk to me and got to actually see some other distas besides John. And then 10 was my first one that I went to, and it just man up there eating with all the guys and the video that they put together just pulled at the heartstrings. I'm like, man, this is really an awesome thing to be a part of. So ever since 10, I've been going every year.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was the last one that I was able to attend was 10, and I do remember meeting you that year. But I'm coming back, so looking
Awesome.
forward to meeting up again. Shane, as I'm gonna ad lib here a couple of these questions since you're local and as one of the resident DisDad hosts. You're known for meeting up now with many of the Diz dads. What's one tip that you can give the guys when trying to plan a meetup with you?
Oh man. They give me a hard time because they say I take 2-hour lunches when I go hang out with them. Just I want to kind of add to that. I totally get, some of the dads come here are on family vacation. They're here with their kids and their wives and I'll get it. Don't feel like you have to meet up with me or Joe or anybody. But if you want to meet up, all you got to do is message me either on Facebook or whatnot, and we'll try to meet up. I'm there at least 3 times a week for work, and I go into the parks all the time. Matter of fact, sometimes for lunch, I'll go just walk Epcot, especially during Food and Wine. I'll go walk Epcot, just get my steps in, or I'll go walk the boardwalk area. So I'm there. I'm more than happy to meet up with you. I know sometimes schedules don't come together and all, and I totally get it. But I would love to meet up, have a drink. It could be at a resort, whatever. I'm there.
Certainly, I had a good time walking around with you this last February when I was down. So definitely, my tip to the guys is don't hesitate to meet up with Shane. You'll have a good time. So back to DDCC. This next one coming up is 15. Um, I assume you're going to be there, planning on being there to hang out with the guys. What tell us what we should expect from your perspective at a DDCC and why, since you are one of the newer dads, you shouldn't be hesitant to join up and try to make the trip.
Yes, I'll be at 15. Matter of fact, they asked me to help plan it, so I'm doing some of the planning too, and excited about what's to come. There's a lot of things that are coming together for us, and we're excited about it. As a new person, for 10, when I came, I went and picked Jay up from the airport. Didn't know him at all, and just on Facebook, he said he's looking for to maybe split a ride with somebody. I'm like, dude, I go by the airport on the way anyway. I'll come pick you up. And so I say that because don't be afraid as a new person to just message some of the guys. Hey, I'm new to this. I'd like to meet up. Maybe get a beer with you or a drink. We're here. We want to meet up with you and talk and get to know you. It's not a closed group. We're open, and we want to get to know everybody that's going to be at 15.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't really met any of the guys that are too terribly hard to talk to at this point. But it's at the we're running. If you look at the Facebook page, we're running over 500 deep on the Facebook page, and there's still some dads I think that use the Diz boards every now and then too. So there is a wide array of personalities and people that are a part of this group, and yes, there are some that you may gravitate to be
Oh
more
yeah,
comfortable with around than others, but
and that's
even
totally
even
understandable. Yeah.
yeah, and but even that you get to the opportunity to mingle, and there's different meetups and such like that, so you don't have to spend the whole time with the group if you're not comfortable with that. But it's
The thing about the convention is the camaraderie. I love getting together with the group, but most importantly for me is the one-on-one conversations. Your Dis That intro videos, I've learned more about some of these guys than I've ever known. And it's awesome that you're doing this, Justin. And I love the one-on-one conversations with the guys and getting to know them more. And through Dis Dads, I have become friends with a lot of the guys and even vacation with them. I went up, my wife and my youngest daughter and I went up to Boston last summer and got to go to a game with a bunch of Diz Dads. They drove up from Pennsylvania and Connecticut. We hung out for the night and I got to have a good time, and then went down to Connecticut and I went on Tim's boat for the day with his family, and I go up to Chicago at least twice a year. Got to hit the wine trail with Harry. I meet up with James. I've met up with you, going over there. So I've got a lot of relationships through this dad's club, and I value them. We're going to Vero Beach on Labor Day weekend with several of the families, and it's not just a dad thing. It's we're bringing our families to hang out with one another, and through that, my son is a good friend of Harry's son, and they talk all the time, and they're looking forward. When they come in September to go Halloween Horror Nights together, and then going to Disney World together. So it's more than just a club, is what I'm trying to get at, Justin.
Oh, definitely. It certainly over the years has become just a great group of guys to not only have friendly conversations with, but to lean on here and there in the hard times, because everybody goes through it every now and then. So certainly a great group to be a part of. I'm proud to be a part of it, and I'm happy to do these interviews, and hopefully you'll learn something from each and every one of these interviews that I do, and give you at least something to kick off a conversation with somebody who you haven't met face to face. So
Definitely.
I got one last thing, Shane. So is there one thing about yourself, I don't know if I'll call it a secret, but just an interesting fact or something about yourself that other dads in the group might not know that you'd like to share to
Well, a lot of the guys tease me because, I'm so personable. They say you like everybody. The background comes from, I'm an ordained minister. A lot of guys don't know that, but I was a youth pastor for the longest time, and just, didn't want to become a senior pastor. So I just got out of it and let it go. It's all about people and getting to know them. So yeah, I'm an ordained minister. That's why I officiated my daughter's wedding. So maybe that's something a lot of them didn't know.
It's something I didn't know. So no, it was a great little tidbit there. So really want to thank you, Shane, for joining me today and letting everybody get to know you. So I just at this point want to say thank you. Keep watching the videos, commenting, sharing. When I post sometimes for interview slots, please keep signing up so that we can keep these going. I want to talk to each and every one of you. So thank you, Shane. I have been Justin, and this has been another Diz Dad intro.
From the castle gates to bedtime tales, laughs on the road and the monorail. Meet up on Main Street or Epcot to raise a glass and clink, telling old trip stories over one more drink. Diz Dad intros, here we go. Talking